My name is de Guevara. I am speaker of the Agribusiness Working Group, and I've now been speaker for around 6 years, which means I have quite experience in this sector network, and I've stayed this long in this sector network because I really believe that this platform is essential for our everyday work. So there are a couple of things that I would want to see in the future. One of our main challenges at the working group is really active membership. So over the past years, we really tried to do everything to activate members. However, this is a more challenging thing than it sounds like. I think moving on forward, we need a systematic approach on how to get members into the network. It cannot be by a voluntary basis or by the mercy of line managers. We really need a top-down approach on how we feed into the SNRD network. In the heart of the network are the people. If we don't have people, we don't have a network. So we really need motivated staff members to be working together with us to create this network. So we really need active membership, active line managers who also believe in the vision of the sector network. And I think it's also important to provide guiding documents for line managers how to engage in the sector networks. And I think this is really where top management comes into play.
So tell me more about how line management comes into play from your perspective.
Where do I start? I think first of all, it's not a standard process being part of the SNRD. So when you have a country office or a cluster, and we're in the time at GIZ, we're in the luxury that many African offices have agricultural clusters. It depends on line management to first of all be aware of the SNRD sector network, and then secondly, value its importance. And then the line manager decides if they're going to contribute with staff members or not. And often this is the main issue. Sometimes line management doesn't know the value and also doesn't know how this SNRD sector network will feed back into their projects. So I would like to also see a strategy on how it works in practice. You feed into the SNRD network with staff, you feed into with topics, and then what you can harvest is really that the staff members use the collective knowledge, use the swarm energy and swarm knowledge to work on these topics from an African perspective. Of course, you'll have to standardize it and individualize it to the context you're working with, but afterwards you would be able to use many brains, many experts, and bring it back into your cluster and bring back the expertise. This is really where I see value in the SNRD. To improve the process at the SNRD network, also in terms of communication, of just a general process of participation and contribution, I think we have to, of course, have operational plans, but there has to be standard operational procedures. So what we face sometimes in the working groups is that we have at the Agribusiness Working Group over 400 members. So we're a very, very big working group, right? But sometimes for new members, it's difficult to, first of all, decide which working group they want to participate in. And once they have decided how to engage in a working group without being part of a conference before or a working group meeting. Of course, we have our standard products or activities that we offer at the working group. However, if you haven't really been in contact with us before, or if you haven't participated in one of the conferences or in one of the working group meetings, it's very difficult to visualize what an actual contribution can look like. And this is at the moment where we also, as speakers of the working groups, face challenges. We have very limited time and resources ourselves, so it's difficult to onboard all new staff members or to allocate work to the 400 members. It's just impossible. We're a group of 7 people, so it might sound a lot, but we all have full-time jobs. So the speakers are all speakers because we're passionate about the work. We're passionate about the SNRD network, and we really believe that this network is part of the solution of what we're doing on the ground and in the fields. But to wrap up this question, how do we improve our work? I think first, we need to improve communication. Second, we have to improve membership. And a membership, it means active members who are willing to contribute to the sector networks, but maybe also in terms of financial resources of projects. Looking into the future of SNRD, and what I think is a really a unique standing point also for outside partners, is the expertise we bring from all over Africa, the people we bring together, and the ability to execute and implement in a very fast way under very different circumstances. So what I think is a unique selling point of SNRD is a way forward for SNRD, which other partners don't have, for instance USAID, who left anyways, or the UN system or whatsoever, is this sector network. I think it's very attractive also for other organizations, either even for outside partners, maybe even for the private partners, just to understand the technical knowledge that is available and to connect it to externals. I think if we look into developing and further developing the SNRD, which is essential, we cannot stay stagnated. And I think SNRD has shown that over and over. We're developing, we're trying to adapt to the modern world and to the outside requirements. And I think one of the things that we will have to do, or that we're already doing, is opening up to other organizations, which will benefit the SNRD because we'll have more external inputs for our staff members. We will heavily benefit if we get external input, but I think it's also improving the overall sector. Competition is good, but I think we also have to grow within the sector together, externals and internals. Our aim is rural development, creating opportunities for people in rural settings, increasing agriculture. And I do think that this is a job that we have to do together. And I think SNRD is one of the solutions for that. So for the future of SNRD, I do think that artificial intelligence plays a huge role for its success and for its further development. SNRD is really a platform for technical exchange, a platform for networking, and a platform to later co-create with these content that you have and bring it back to the field. So all of this can really be facilitated through artificial intelligence. And in addition to that, and of course, one of the most important things is knowledge management. We at GIZ or SNRD still are lacking a little bit behind on knowledge management because it's such a huge topic and we have so much created documents and so much knowledge. And through artificial intelligence, I do see it a huge opportunity for us to really make processes faster, to link people up, and specifically link people up with expertise. So now this conference, we were around 170 participants. Of course, during the last 5 days, I was not able to meet everyone. And I could look it up on the conference app, but it would take me ages to go through every participant and see what their expertise is. And it's not even stated there, right? But if we would have a database, which of course, data protection issues is very important, but link up in a very fast way the expertise you're looking for, it will really support our everyday work. And I think also having a database where you can find the information in a very fast way, this is exactly what we need. I think we all have not many years of experience, some have more, some have less, but everyone has encountered the issues of accessing the right information at the right time without knowing the people in the organization. And often also, unfortunately, knowledge is lost. We have institutional knowledge with people. People leave, move on to different positions within GIZ, but also outside of GIZ. So we really need to capitalize on technologies, on innovations, to see how we can bundle all of this information, experience, best practices into one easy platform.